Round 1 started with last year's runner-up Gavin Faith winning aboard his Carlton Dry Honda. He set a blistering pace, qualifying first, winning his heat race, and then the final, which sent a message to all of his competition that he had learnt from his mistakes last year and was here to get it done. Monster Kawasaki's Cade Mosick claimed second, while Serco Yamaha's Luke Steich finished third. As they moved on to round 2, Gavin Faith again proved too good, winning the final. Luke Steich broke his wrist and Cade Mosick went down in turn 1. This gave privateer Gerard Stapleton the opportunity to step up and prove that his pre-season training had all paid off. The BCP Honda rider earned a rewarding second. Going into round 3, Carlton Dry Honda rider Faith was in a comfortable points position and opted to ride a smart and steady race in the trying muddy conditions and settled for third as Cade Mosick and KTM's Ryan Marmont fought it out. Cade was on a mission, but several falls kept him from taking the top spot. Ryan Marmont was over the moon with the win and could be the upset for the championship, sitting only 9 points off first.
Hello everyone and welcome to round 4 of the Terex Australian Supercross Championships, brought to you by Petters. I'm Lee Hogan calling the action alongside Cam Williams. We're here at an unbelievable venue. The track is so big. Last round at Toowoomba we saw a huge track. Doesn't even compare to this and what the spectators are in for tonight. Cam, what's your thoughts on what's going to play out to be with the lights tonight? We've got some great riders battling.
We've had some seriously intense racing, haven't we? Gavin Faith has been dominant. Cade Mosick, well, just inconsistent. Ryan Marmont, a really good feel-good story for the series. Throw Gerard Stapleton into that one as well. The lights have been really, really exciting, you know, but Gavin Faith, I have to say, this one right now is his to lose.
Well, last weekend in the mud, it really was a case of trying to consolidate the championship. Gavin Faith won the first 2 rounds, third up on the podium last round. What do you think he's got for us tonight? Is he going to go out and try to win, or do you think he's going to just try to secure that championship on the podium?
It's experience time for Gavin Faith, isn't it? He hasn't been in this situation as a championship leader prior to this. We saw him last weekend ride a very, very smart race. Cade Mosick, you know, anything can happen with Cade. He's blisteringly fast. Gavin is the fastest qualifier, so this one's going to go down to the wire without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, a sold-out crowd here tonight at Newcastle Showground. We're about to play witness to the lights. Let's see what they've got. Carlton Dry Thor Honda rider and our current championship points leader in the lights category, Gavin Faith. How'd you feel out there in practice? Of course, fastest in time qualifying.
Yeah, it's good. The track's really good this weekend, and it's a little bit longer than usual, so it should make for great racing.
Now, you had a win in the first 2 rounds of the championship. Mud last weekend. Anything could have happened, but you consolidated your points very well, and you've still got a nice, handy championship points lead.
Yeah, you know, last weekend was a little rough. Didn't quite go the way that we wanted it to, but, you know, I just rode smart and just salvaged a podium, which worked out pretty good. So now I have a 9-point lead going into the last round, so hopefully just stay smart out there and stay on 2 wheels, and it should be good.
What's the plan going into tonight's event here at Newcastle? 15 laps. Are we thinking about the championship, or are we breaking it down to just an individual race and just trying to treat this as a one-off?
Yeah, you know, I'm just going to go out there and just treat it like a normal race. And, you know, if stuff happens, you know, the championship is always in the back of your mind, so just got to... But as far as right now, just try and just go out there and take it like a normal race and hope for the best.
Ryan Marmont, JDR Motorex KTM rider extraordinaire, who I think has been in a little bit of stealth mode in this series, trying to attack the championship. Slow and steady last week, Toowoomba, in the greasy, snotty mud, you took the win. Did you plot that right out the get-go? Because you know it was going to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had a game plan going into that race. So, you know, we knew that to try and go as quick as you can in those conditions is quite tough, and you're better off keeping the wheels on the ground rather than being on the ground yourself. So, you know, little things we done. We wanted to get good starts, and we changed our bike setup a little bit to suit those conditions, and it all paid off.
How are you feeling about the 9 points that you need to make to get this championship tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shame I had a bad first round, but I've just been chipping away as best I can and try and get some good results throughout each weekend. So here again with the same game plan, and just keep chipping away and try and do my best.
Both you and Dan McCoy on the CDI Yamaha possibly could become the champions tonight, but unfortunately, and I don't mean to rub it in, don't have a job next year. What's up with that? That's just wrong. wrong?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes going on for next year, and a lot of the factory teams seem to do without lights riders, and it's given opportunities for some of the privateer teams to snavel up a good rider and get good support from the manufacturers. But on the same token, you know, it's quite hard to go out there and get a ride with those guys. So, you know, I'm got to try and concentrate on tonight and get a good result for the championship and have something to go to a team and manufacturer with.
Because in theory, on paper, a resume is one thing, but really your performance tonight is a sales pitch for you to someone to take you on as a great rider.
Yeah, I think so. You know, the last 12 months for me has just been injury riddled. I've had 4 operations in 12 months, and I just spend so much time off the bike. It's been hard to get on a roll. So I had a good off season getting ready for this Supercross, and I feel my results have been good, and I just want to try and get a good result this championship and have that go roll into next year.
Monster Energy Kawasaki rider Cade Mosig, second fastest in time qualifying here today. How'd you feel out there on the bike?
Yeah, I felt pretty good. I was fighting it a little bit. The track's got a little bit sketchy now. The dirt that they've used is quite clumpy, so I went a little bit stiffer from practice to qualifying. I don't know if it was in the right direction. I think I'll probably have to back the rear suspension off a little bit just to get a bit more grip. But qualified second, it's good. I'm in a good position. I just got to continue that on to the racing now.
Now, talk about speed last weekend in the mud, unbelievable. Couple of little crashes. If you can put that back in here tonight, keep her on 2 wheels. Does anyone have a chance?
Yeah, that's it. Dira had really good speed last week, even qualifying the heat race and the final. So I just gotta bring that to this final this week. I can do 15 laps flat out. So I just gotta take my time a little bit and try and flow the track. And I think if I get 15 solid laps down, it's all mine.
Cade Mosig hoping to finish off with a win here tonight at Newcastle, round 4 of the Terex Australian Supercross Championships. Welcome back to Newcastle Stadium for round 4 of the Terex Australian Supercross Championships. We of course have the lights class here, some of the best 250F and 252-stroke riders in the country.
Fantastic effort, isn't it? Young Jackson Richardson there lining up alongside Cade Mosig. Go on board now with Gavin Faith here on our GoPro lap.
Okay, we're on board with Gavin Faith with the GoPro Hot Lap. This gives us such a realistic perspective of what it's like from one of the fast guys. Now, you do not get a faster rider than Gavin Faith on the lights bike. He has an uncanny knack of being able to stay exceptionally low. Up and over the big triple, a super high speed triple. Now the overall speed of this particular track is way higher than what we normally see. Up and onto the whoops, and these whoops, they're reasonably low, but there's a huge step getting up and onto them, Cam Williams, over the finish line jump.
Off this finish line jump here, and just another little section here. A lot of these guys triple in, as we just see Gavin Faith did. Triple in, seat bounce out and double, and then potentially seat bounce triple like Faith does here. Now, Lee, 2 options in this corner.
We've got the high side and the low side. Faith goes for the high side up the inside. Now, the 450s, we're getting all the way over that. You cannot do it on a 250, but great job. A sensational lap from Gavin Faith.
Onto our start grid here for Heats 1. Stephen Clark, Zach Newsom, Cade Mosick, Kim Ashkenazi, Casey Turner, Brad Matheson, all the way down to Nicholas Sutherland and Gavin Gunn, a couple of privateer Kawasaki riders.
Well, a couple of riders to keep your eye on. Cade Mosick's been lightning fast on the Monster Energy Kawasaki in recent rounds, just about every time getting pole position. No doubt he'll be on fire here in the qualifying heat. But Kim Ashkenazi, he may not have the fitness to go 15 laps quite as hard as he used to back in the day when he was winning championships, but he loves the qualifying heats. I guarantee you he'll be up there somewhere.
Definitely loves to get out there and get his sponsors a mention now. As we said before, Cade Mosick lining up alongside Jackson Richardson on what looks to be the very inside gate. The board drops sideways now.
Let's keep an eye on the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider. Not a bad jump at all up the inside, and he comes across, which shows. And then we mentioned Kim Ashkenazi, the two riders that we spoke about. But Cade Mosick is off on a flyer, and he wants to start this heat in fine form.
Ashkenazi in second place. Yamaha working its way into third. I'm thinking potentially Luke Clout will try and pick up that number. The kid has been electrically fast so far this series, just lacking that little bit of consistency that tends to come with age. Or it might even be Mitch Norris, actually.
Well, that actually looked like Zach Newsom that was up in the top four. We'll try to pick him up as they're coming through. And a long way back, Scuba Steve Clark on the Motul Pirelli Suzuki. He wants to be up there battling with our race leader. Have a look at the form of Cade Mosick. The guy can jump a motorcycle.
On board now to the unit hole shot, and we'll see Mosick just storm up the inside. Jackson Richardson misses the start, and as you said, Newsom got a flyer, and Ashkenazi fantastic under the brakes into that first corner. Newsom a couple of dabs there, and Ashkenazi gets good drive, but that unit hole shot all the way to Cade Mosick. We switch replays now to the monster replay and reverse angle, Lee.
Well, as a rider on the far outside, he's almost last at the moment. He nearly had a huge crash wash in that front wheel out coming in, but he must have been starting from, like we said, the far outside. Cade Mosick starting to stretch out the lead just a little bit now. He has got the eye of the tiger, as we say. He is so focused. He wants to try to get that championship. He still has a chance of getting that championship off Gavin Faith, who has a nice handy little break at the moment. Mosick is in third place, and of course Ryan Marmont is in second place.
Ryan Marmont, the sneaky old doggy Marmont. He's done a fantastic job this season. As we said, I think last time around, that JDR Motorsports team going to fold at the end of this one, but he really does want to send them out on a fantastic note, Ryan Marmont, and he's been riding very, very well so far. Cade Mosick at the moment, he is fantastic right now.
Mosick has just been great to watch the last, 3 or 4 rounds. Even at Dubbo, while it didn't quite come through with the victory for him, he came from behind, got into second place, and didn't lose any time on Gavin Faith whatsoever. Even at one stage, he started to reel him in just a little bit. Now, the Outdoor Nationals, Mosick was hoping for some exceptional riding. It didn't all come together the way that he would have liked, but Supercross is really where he's come into his own. And we'll all remember that muddy race at Toowoomba where really, he crashed about 4 or 5 times. Probably should have come out on top. Ryan Marmont got the victory, but so fast was Cade Mosick.
Exceptionally fast, wasn't he? And this is, speaking of fast right now, the best ride we've seen from young Mitch Norris. Did very, very well last year in the juniors on a YZ 250 two-stroke. Craig Anderson's picked him up to run this Supercross season, given the injury to Luke Arbin. And Norris now just tucked in behind Kim Ashkenazi. I keep saying it, but 38 years of age, Kim Ashkenazi. Dodgy old stager, he's done so well. And as you said, Lee, always does well in the heat races. Get out in the heat and gets his fair share of publicity. It's pretty smart riding.
And if you have a look, you need to have a close-up look. It's a bit hard to see in the TV footage, but if you're cruising through the pits and you had a chance to have a bit of a look at his bike, he's done something very interesting. Of course, sponsorship's hard to come by. Doesn't matter if you're a privateer or a factory rider. And he's managed to sell off tiny little pieces of his motorcycle. And his graphics have got these little pictures of everyone that's donated just that little bit of money. It's quite innovative, and hats off to him for coming up with that idea.
It's a really good concept, isn't it? We did have a bit of a chat with him about it earlier in the season, and Jackson Richardson just comes up a little bit short and gives Scuba Steve Clark a bit of room to move up the inside of him. And he makes the pass there on Jackson Richardson. Just a little bit loose at the moment, Richardson. Yeah, as we were saying with Ashkenazi, he sold those pieces off, and he's actually got people's faces all over his graphics, and he's got a big banner in the back of his pits. And you've got to be innovative to get sponsorship now and secure yourself to go racing. And I would say he's going to try and run something similar next year, and we'll see Ashkenazi back at it again.
Well, he's had some ups and downs, has Ashkenazi over the years, and we all remember him as a champion from back in the day as Mitch Norris goes down, unfortunately tucking the front end on the very sweet Yamaha machine, but he's back up. He only lost one position there. It won't be too much of a problem as we scan our eyes back on our race leader, the man himself, Cade Mosig. He is looking at putting that Monster Energy Kawasaki in first position here as he crosses the finish line, and will take Heat 1 in the lights class. Carried a fair bit of momentum into that whoop section there, and quite possibly a little bit of a mistake, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, looking very strong right now. 2 laps left to run now for Mosig, and wow, doing the job here for Troy Carroll and this Monster Energy Kawasaki squad. As you said, probably wasn't the most successful motocross season by Cade's standards, but he's really come out swinging in the Supercross, and we've seen him ride with a lot of aggression and a very, very determined form, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he loves winning. He's proved to us over the years that he knows how to win. He's won championships also. He had a fairly stellar junior career, notching up a few national championships as well. Now, he knows where he wants to be. Just got to get back up there and get the job done. As to whether we see him on an open class or a lights bike for next year, I think it's almost certain we will see him on that lights bike again. He wants to get that championship.
Going to be a tough championship, that one next year, especially in the outdoors with Josh Kasher moving to the US. Looks like we're going to have Luke Clout here for Mosig to run, but the reality is, Mosig, he needs to be the form guy in that championship and really carry that one away, similar to what we saw Ford Dale do this year.
And obviously looks like we'll have Luke Stike back again. There was, a few rumours going around we may lose him to Europe, but it seems as if we will have him still here. So still a bit of competition for Mosig, but one of the unfortunate things for the lights riders, we need to make mention, it's one of those things, a lot of the manufacturers are having the open class teams in-house as their main factory team. They're scrapping the lights category, which means that's opening up the possibility for a lot of the smaller teams, such as your Team 7, your Axis, whatever it may be, to get the official manufacturer's lights team. Now, unfortunately for a lot of the lights riders that deserve a factory ride, they're just not going to be around next year.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, isn't it? It's a very tough sport, and we keep hearing about the state of the economy and how hard it is to get sponsorship right now, and well, it's not getting any easier. You look at the success of some other motorsports, blue flags flying for Cade Mosig. He's on the last lap, only one corner left to run now for Cade Mosig. He gets the win in Heat 1. Monster Energy rider Cade Mosig grabs the win in Heat 1. Fantastic way to start your night when you're chasing a championship, Lee Hogan.
Throws the bike sideways, can throw a whip, is Cade Mosig. Unbelievable in the air, that's for sure. He'll be happy with that win. He'll take that confidence. He'll throw the Skull Candy headphones on and head back to the truck, try to get himself in the right headspace for the main event. Cade Mosig with the win. Stephen Clark up to second from a very average start. Jackson Richardson, unbelievable job there, the privateer Honda rider in the top 3.
Along with Kim Ashkenazi, Nick Sutherland, Mitch Norris after a little tip over. Zach Newsom straight through to the final for the first time in this year, coming off injury. David Mellish, looks like Gavin Gunn and Jordan Dirch will head to the LCQ.
Yeah, great job there. Of course, Heat 1 of the Pro Lights on the line now. We have Heat 2, and we see Ryan Marmont coming off a win at the last round in the mud. He'll be oozing with confidence, but he has got a hard charger. And our fastest qualifier from earlier on today, Carlton Drythor Honda rider Gavin Faith, is up the far inside on the number 2 machine.
He has been electric so far, Gavin Faith. Also keep your eye on the number 32, Corey Lucas. His starts have been fantastic. There we see our start list with Marmont, Clout, Collum, Boyd Hocking, Plagman. As I said, Corey Lucas, Lincoln Nickel, Taylor Potter. One of the very few TMs out there, Ryan Zipes.
Well, Luke Cloud has been unbelievable, and the guest ride from Serco Yamaha has turned into a team ride for next year, and he well and truly deserves that. Hasn't had the consistent up on the podium. You don't expect him to have that. What you want to see is unbelievable speed, and quite often he has been the fastest, just so consistently fast in practice and time qualifying.
Due there of Errol Willis on the 283 race line, Pirelli machine. God, they held him a while. The gate drops, and Faith a little bit sideways out of the gate, but get a look at that. Corey Lucas on that RM250. I think that's actually one of Daniel McCoy's bikes that he's borrowed, and man, the old two-banger has got plenty of poke off the line.
Well, the 252 stroke's got so much punch, and we see just an absolute fistful of throttle was Lucas there up onto the step on, step off, and he nearly jumped all the way to where it starts to go down. You do not want to throw your front wheel down the backside and have your back wheel land on top. top or it's going to end in tears.
Oh, get a look at that. Gavin Faith just blew right by Corey Lucas there. This guy is so fast. Up and over the finish line for the second time around now, Gavin Faith. He's done a fantastic job so far this season. We go back on board with the unit hole shot. I'm going to have to pick this one. I'm going to say it's going to be Corey Lucas. Ryan Marmont, as always, gets a fantastic start.
Well, just have a look up the inside. We can see it was Gavin Faith got squeezed off a little bit. He come out of the first turn in fourth place, and by not even 3/4 of the way through that first lap, he's managed to get himself into first. But now we'll be able to see on board with Gavin Faith. The squeeze comes on from Willis on the outside.
Well, Gavin Faith almost ended up over in the advertising hoarding on the left-hand side and did not back off 1 inch, Gavin Faith.
But then we just saw the entry speed into the whoops was the key. Those long legs from Gavin Faith. He almost carried just ridiculously more speed coming into the whoops than Corey Lucas. But you were mentioning, we just had a little bit of a chat about Corey Lucas before. He's just doing it on a shoestring budget, doing it all by himself. As 3 riders almost come together, Errol Willis finds himself on the inside and makes up 2 positions on the Raceline Pirelli Suzuki.
Look, this is what we've been waiting for all season long from Errol Willis. He's an incredibly determined individual and one of those kids that I really like. He's just got a little bit more spunk. You know, just got a few lessons to learn in life, but he'll get there, this kid. On board with the super likeable Kiwi, Scott Collum. First Supercross season out this year for Scott Collum, doing it for the Raceline Pirelli Suzuki team, and done a fantastic job. He's acquitted himself very well, but this guy, he's got the red plate, and we can see why, Lee, can't we?
Well, we certainly can, and for all the spectators out there and the viewers, it really is shaping up to be exactly what we expected. The script, if it has been written, is coming together very nicely. Cade Mosey coming out and cleaning up, absolutely dominating Heat 1 in the lights, and likewise, Gavin Faith coming out and doing exactly the same thing in Heat 2. Then we've got our other players, our Luke Cloud, who's back in second place here, showing that he will be in the mix there somewhere.
Most definitely will be in the next Luke Cloud. He's electrically fast. Gets on a plane on Monday, I believe, and heading off to the Mini O's in the US, one of the largest amateur races over there, to finish out his amateur career in the US and then come back here and get on board that Serco Yamaha for next year with Gavin Eels, Michael Marty and that crew. And a little bit loose through those whoops. Some of those are starting to get a little bit nasty now.
Yeah, they're starting to get cupped out just a little bit, and that's what happens when the whoops start to get some high ones and some low ones. When some of them get, you know, not so much cupped out, but when they start to get worn down from being continuously gassed on from the riders, then it becomes very hard to get up on top. We see a rider off to the side there. We're trying to pick up who that rider was.
I think it might have been Boyd Hocking or maybe Lincoln Nickel. A bit hard to pick up that number there, but doesn't really faze Gavin Faith greatly at this point in time. Good battle going on here between Corey Lucas, Ryan Marmont and Errol Willis. Marmont goes to the inside of Lucas and Lucas will just shut him down, maintain that position, but watch out for sneaky little Errol Willis. Just a bit of a mistake there in that on-off section.
Well, Ryan Marmont up the inside and makes the pass. I could see coming through that section, he was setting it up. As to what happened in the corner, I thought they may have come together, but they didn't. Now Lucas has somehow rebounded, and the 2 Suzuki riders are right next to each other as well. Errol Willis come up a little bit short there. He would have had a very easy pass made for this next corner, but Ryan Marmont has already started to stretch out the lead. Now, what can happen is these 2 riders having a little bit of a battle. Instead of making themselves go faster, they've slowed themselves down. Ryan Marmont has just checked out from this 3-way battle.
Good job from Ryan Marmont. Obviously the younger brother of Jay Marmont. Seriously determined young character. Young family Ryan Marmont. And he's another one of these guys looking for a ride. As we were talking before about how tough Lights is. A guy like Ryan Marmont looking for something for next year as well. Here comes Errol Willis now, gotten by Corey Lucas and gotten clear, and looking probably better this heat than I think we've seen Errol Willis so far this year.
Well, right from the get-go today, from practice to time qualifying, the start of the heat and the laps he's putting down now, we're starting to see the kind of form that we saw in him last year. Maybe not quite to the calibre that saw him win the Under-19 Supercross Championship last year, but certainly 2-fold better than what we've seen in the first 3 rounds. Let's hope he can carry this into the main event, the 15-lapper.
Yeah, he'll be looking to maintain this form. Chris Woods and the guys from Raceline Pirelli Suzuki very keen to get Errol up on that box. And, whoa, it's getting pretty crazy, those whoops now, Lee.
Well, what happened there, he started off beautifully, lofted the front wheel in, no problem whatsoever. But just when the whoop started to get a little bit up and down, he squatted his legs down. Now, he copped a big hit from the seat to the bum. If you squat your legs down at all, that can be a ticket straight over the handlebars.
Not the place you want to take a trip over the handlebars either, is it, in those whoops? Gavin Faith right now, just so relaxed. Colleen Millsap's here as well this weekend. Lee, obviously going to help out Gavin Faith, just with those few little tips and anything mental, you know, that can always help. It's always good to have someone in your corner like that. Last lap board now being shown by our man Checkers to Gavin Faith, and well, this guy wants this championship and he's in good form right now to carry it off.
He's doing unbelievably at the moment. Last lap here will take the victory here if everything stays in check. He just needs to thread his way through a couple of the lap riders now, and he will receive the checkered flag. Boyd Hocking once again coming back on the track. He made a little bit of an exit where we mentioned a little bit earlier. So Boyd Hocking not finding his feet and getting the rhythm that he would like in the qualifying heat. But Gavin Faith has got just under half a lap to go. A little bit of a bobble through there.
A little bit loose there, Gavin Faith, wasn't he? Works his way down this big, long triple, and he'll be looking at the moment to get this done and get back to the Honda truck and just have a chat to his guys and just stay nice, cool, calm and collected and run this one out.
Well, how easy does he make it look through the whoops? He's got sensational technique, and those long legs help heaps. Up and over the finish line and throws a whip the opposite direction to what we saw from Cade Mosick. Those two will go head-to-head and create a nice little battle going into the main event.
Yeah, that's the mouth-watering prospect we've been sweating on all year long, watching these two guys go at it. They're both the fastest in the class. There's the leaderboard from this one. Gavin Faith from Luke Clout. Great ride for the young Luke Clout. Ryan Marmont, Errol Willis, Corey Lucas after a great start finishes in 5th.
And Scott Collum in 6th place. Taylor Potter, 7th, not too bad whatsoever. And it continues to go on. Twisty Keisha, top 10 in 9th place. But it's all about Gavin Faith. The battle we've been waiting for is about to come up. Our qualifying heat's done and dusted. When we come back, the 15-lap main event. Welcome back to Newcastle Showgrounds, the Terex Australian Supercross Championships final round. The Pirelli Pussycats doing their thing down on the main straight there. It was great to have them there this year, putting on the entertainment for the crowd. The under-19s, a little bit of a highlights package here. It has been an unbelievable series, and it really has been a battle between two riders, Hayden Melross and Cale Makem, a rider going down halfway down that straight. Come together, tangled handlebars, and that is not what you wanted to do. But Hayden Melross, the Honda rider, he won the first 2 rounds of the series, and then Cale Makem, our race leader here tonight, has just come out. He won in the mud at the last round. He had to take the win here, and he needed something bad to happen to Hayden Melross to take the championship.
He's been quite a revelation this year, Cale Makem. As we look at Dylan Long, he's had a tough season by his own standards, but this kid is so electrically fast. We would expect big things when we see him step up into pro lights. There's Jay Wilson, another one of those Raceline Pirelli Suzuki riders. He got himself locked in a battle with GYTR rider Sam Martin a little bit further in this one, and then we see this, Lee Hogan. That's Hayden Melross on the ground.
Now, there was the deciding factor right there, and devastating news, of course, for the Melross and the Honda camp. Hayden Melross needed no worse placing than 5th if Cale Makem won. Now, a bad start from Melross meant he was already under the hammer to start off with, but that crashed through the whoops. That put paid to the championship, ending up in 6th place. So close and yet so far.
It was a tough crash too. He hit the ground very hard. He bent up his bars, bent his clutch lever, so he had to come back and pick his way through traffic with a bent bike. But what do you say about this kid, Cale Makem? He's been fantastic this season. One of the very few guys out here on this 2-stroke. On the KTM's 2-stroke, Jeff Leescombe, a team from KTM, would be ecstatic with what this kid's done this year.
Well, he's on the 252-stroke, like you said, and he's one of the few that are out there. Everyone that's been a fan of the sport of Supercross for a little while would know 252-strokes for as long as I can remember are just the be-all to end-all as far as Supercross goes, and he is showing what a 252-stroke can do on a Supercross track. Let's not forget the extra horsepower gain that you've got off the starting gate and down the main straight. Now, his consistency wasn't quite there at Dubbo for round 1. He was so fast and reeled in our race leader Hayden Melross, but dropped off in lap times dramatically. He's just grown so much every single round to what we're seeing right now, which is really a faultless 12-lap main event.
He did a fantastic job here, didn't he? Doing a lot of work with Matt Moss. Obviously, Matt Moss's injury with that shoulder has helped out Cale Makem. Take into account as well, also with Makem, he separated his AC joint at the very start of the season, just before Dubbo. So toughed it out through that, and Man, these motocross kids, they're so tough, aren't they? Separated AC joint, but won't stop him racing.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, and no doubt he's moving up into the lights category next year out of the under-19s, and the team rides are hard to come by, even for people that are right up there in the lights category. So he needed to do something good to try to get himself some kind of a ride. He's doing it on a shoestring budget. The parents have got a little bit of coin, but they're trying to make him, you know, do his hard yards, trying to work his way through and teach him some good work ethic, etc. And that's what he's doing. He's currently, whenever he's got 2 seconds to himself, he's working a job, and he's doing an unbelievable job doing it.
Add to that he's actually a really nice kid. He's a lovely kid. There's Dylan Long, speaking of good kids, he's another great kid. That Choice Motorsports KTM, he will be with those guys next year, and they'll be the factory lights effort for next year. Cale Makem, he knows he's got this in the bag now, the nod of the head. It gives me shivers, Lee. This kid was so ecstatic. You have to admire the kid for the fact that he gets so much joy out of this.
He is over the moon, and that he should be. 2 rounds, the last 2 victory, and of course here the final round at Newcastle, taking the championship. Now at this stage, he doesn't know that he has won the championship. He has no idea where Melrose is. He's just over the moon. He finds out right here that he just won the championship by 1 point. Talk about your fairy tale story.
Great story for Cale Makem, isn't it? Obviously, bit of disappointment as we see Matt Moss down there. Bit of disappointment for Hayden Melrose, but that kid's got a huge future, Lee, and I would expect to see more out of that.
All right, here we have got a nice little presentation. This was from IEG. Have a look at that helmet. A custom painted V4 Fox helmet. It's got all the logos on there, and that's a real smile we're seeing from Chad. Of course, he's stoked. Let's see if we can see a little bit of an Australian flag there on the side. 22 Motorsports up there under the peak, and LA Designs. Courtesy of LA Designs painting that absolute gem up for Chad Reed.
Yeah, they're calling him the Australian GOAT, aren't they? The greatest of all time. Right now, though, down on the line for the Terex Pro Light start. This is the one we've been sweating on, Lee, isn't it? We're so keen to see Caden Mosick and Gavin Faith go right at it for a full 15 laps of this big Supercross track.
Yeah, well, look, we'd love to be able to just slot them out there into lap 1, about halfway through, and place them in first and second, but we can't do that. They have to make it out of the gate and into the first turn and hope that they're somewhere near each other so we can see the battle that we've been waiting for all series long. Before we do, let's take a look at our main event start lineup. Gavin Faith on the Honda, Ryan Marmont, Stephen Clark, Luke Clout, Scott Collum, one of our super fast privateers, Zach Newsom, great job.
Matt Plagman, Corey Lucas, watch out for him. He was electric in his heat. Lincoln Nickel, Taylor Potter. Taylor Potter's done it tough for a little while now, another privateer on one of those KTM machines.
Yeah, but he does know how to go exceptionally well. We've seen a lot of top 10s from him in the past, but coming back from a little bit of injury. I think the battle at the head of the pack is, though, what we're going to have our focus on without a doubt. And there we see Cade Mosick, Kim Ashkenazi. Let's see if he can repeat his qualifying heat performance. No disrespect to Ashkan, I don't think he can. He tends to put all of his effort and his energies into that qualifying heat. I would like to see a good start from him, but we're going to have to wait to see.
Don't forget about Errol Willis. He was fantastic in qualifying and his heat race. He lines up there, I think, just alongside Ryan Marmont by the looks of that. Oh, here we go, Lee. Strap yourself in. This is going to be interesting.
15 laps ahead of us, Newcastle Showgrounds, round 4 of the Terex Australian Supercross Championship in the lights category. Who will get the whole shot? Scott Collum it is. It's on the race line, Pirelli Suzuki. What a start.
Fantastic start from the Kiwi. Never raced Supercross up until the very start of his season. Here he is. I'm pretty sure he had a bet on with his mechanic and team manager, Chris Woods, about getting a whole shot. It's going to cost Woodsy a few dollars. That's a great performance from Scott Collum, and we see Gavin Faith and Cade Mosick line up as one of those tough blocks goes down.
Now let's forget about first place, but second, third and fourth is where our championship battle is at. They do not want to let this man Gavin Faith, oops, too late. He is going to be gone. He's already in first place, and the sprint speed from Gavin Faith is unbelievable. Let's have a look here at our replay, the Monster Energy replay. Great start from Ryan Marmont. Gavin Faith up the inside, but Scott Collum tips it in from the outside and rails that first berm.
Got good drive, didn't he, coming off that first berm? I was watching for Corey Lucas there, but Taylor Potter wised up to that one and pushed Lucas wide off the line. Here's this GoPro footage with Jackson Richardson. Looks like he's just missed the jump a little bit. There's Lucas caught in the middle there, and Willis leans on Jackson Richardson, and up the inside sneaks Cade Mosick. Good move. Yep. Nice sneaky little move there. He just missed
terrible
the jump.
Start from Mosick. He was in the last half of that group coming into the first turn. fine, but just a little bit of a bump and run and slotted himself up there.
Oh, it looks like Jackson Richardson might have come up just a smidge short on that big triple. And here's the pass on the monster replay. Gavin Faith goes to the inside of Scott Collum. Now you'll see Collum go to the outside of that berm. Faith goes the inside rut, and thank you very much, makes the pass.
Well, have a look. Already Gavin Faith has started to check out over the rest of the field. Now, if we look back, that, I believe, will be the deciding factor for this overall tonight. Was that pass made on Scott Collum? He immediately dropped the hammer, made the pass, and his first couple of laps are second to none, Gavin Faith. Obviously, he's exceptionally fast, he's fit, he makes the right decision. But if you go and stretch your other riders, if you put out a little bit of a lead that's around about 3 or 4 seconds, it makes it so hard for them to try to get that back.
What we did see and what we have seen all day long is that at Cade Mosick and Gavin Faith, their lap times are very, very close, aren't they? There's no huge difference here for Cade Mosick to try and pull down some laps. So he's got a lot of work to do, Mosick. Currently back in about 4th or 5th place as we see Gavin Faith now just start to get right into his rhythm and start to reel off laps.
He makes it look so easy, does Gavin Faith. An unbelievable rider on that light bike. You could be forgiven for looking at him and thinking, hey, he's pretty big. He's got to be weighing a fair bit. What's his start's going to be like? His power to weight ratio. Surely he's going to be better on a big 450. That thing is super fast. They've got a special engine in that. I know the engine that they had in it last year, and I presume it's the same engine, was specially brought over from Europe, and it had a completely different note to any of the other bikes.
Interesting to know that sort of stuff. The Lee Hogan is our expert in commentary with that sort of thing. So we go to Cade Mosick, and he's made some great ground at this point in time. And look at Luke Clout. He is charging back there in 3rd place. He's gotten by Errol Willis and Ryan Marmont, that number 5 Serco Metal Militia Machine. Now Scott Collum looks like he's set a place to Scuba Steve Clark, and we're on board with Errol Willis. So, this is going to get very interesting. This is a battle for 5th, 6th and 7th, I think. Errol Willis now goes to the inside of Scott Collum and trying to get a pass, and there is Mosick. So almost a full lane difference between Cade Mosick and Gavin Faith, but I'm super impressed with Luke Clout right now. He is absolutely flying.
Well, we know Luke Clout's got an amazing sprint speed, and to be doing this in the main event, up near the head of the pack, he's in 3rd place, and he's well in touch. Oh, and he goes down. Commentator's curse right there. We've done it a few times. We really do need to shut up when it's on somebody, yes?
Yeah, I think we probably should learn that lesson there, but he's done well here, Luke Clout. He actually has managed to keep the clutch in, and we know these Yamahas can be a little bit, well, you know, tough to start when they get a bit warm from time to time, but Luke Clout, he's kept his smarts about him. I don't think those bars are better or anything. He just does the Ricky Carmichael. We go to the monster replay. Lee, talk us through this one.
Well, just come up a little bit short, which put him out of sync a little bit there. Kicked the rear end. Not sure if that was a dab of the back brake or just a little bit slick coming in, but that wasn't a front wheel washout. That all started from a back wheel washing out coming in.
Well, we'll keep our eye on Luke Clout. He was riding exceptionally fast. Back to the front now. The man who's just reeling them off at the moment. Just looking very, very good. His lap times are very strong. Comparative with, you know, 3rd, 4th and 5th in the Pro Opens. So he's been exceptionally fast all day long, this guy.
And we just saw there, only Mosick was just coming into shot as he tipped it into the corner. So quite a little bit of a gap. Now, I was just going to make mention before Luke Clout hit the deck, was making it a little bit hard for Cade Mosick to focus on what was ahead of him and trying to reel in Gavin Faith, if at all possible, when he had company with Luke Clout. As we get back here on board with Errol Willis, and he's all over the back of Ryan Marmont. He's putting on a hard charge, goes to the inside, and now this is where Errol Willis has been going all day long. Tuck it once again. Nice little rut there up the inside, and I think it's only a matter of time until we're going to see Willis up into that 3rd place.
Yeah, he's applying a pile of pressure right now to Ryan Marmont, isn't he? And next in his sights after that is going to be Scuba Steve Clark, another one of the guys. He's riding that factory Suzuki. But right now, Cade Mosick, this one's... He's charging hard, Mosick. He's riding with plenty of aggression, but so is Gavin Faith right now, isn't he, Lee?
Well, he is, and just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, he's just losing that tiny little bit each lap. He's losing just under half a second, and then every now and then he'll start to chip away and make it back again. But Gavin Faith is just having one of those nights. His head's in the right place. Everything's coming together. Cade, huge crash out the back of the whoops. Steve Clark was charging so hard through those whoops. The Suzuki got kicked sideways, and he got ejected from that motorcycle.
He's kept it running. We'll go to the monster replay and just catch his, and it spat him off, didn't it, Lee? He had no choice. He was getting off that motorcycle whether he wanted to or not.
back on board with Cade Mosick, still in second place as we speak, about to come onto the on-off section and onto the start straight one more time. Logging down another lap, lap 7 of 15. We are basically almost halfway through this 15-lapper, and it's get tired time. It's, you know, riders start to pump up a little bit. They've got to try to just toughen up, get in that that mindset that just goes, you know what, this is going to hurt a little bit, but push through the pain.
We know he's definitely fit, Cade Mosick, as is Gavin Faith. Does a lot of cycling based on the Gold Coast this year as opposed to down south. And Errol Willis it is now, who's worked his way into third place, and we saw him ride very, very well in the heat race and really starting to look very strong right now, young Willis.
And looking much better through the whoops in the main event than he was in the qualifying. He looked like a completely different body position there. That was great to see. And his corner speed's back. He just looks like the rider of old that we really enjoy watching. He's got so much intensity. He can be very aggressive. He doesn't mind throwing it up the inside of another rider, coming together, does whatever it takes to get that position that he's after, and staring down the barrel of a top 3 here tonight. Cade Mosick in second place. Really is a little bit of a, almost like a practice session at the moment, isn't it, where you're trying to keep your lap times up. He's got no one immediately in front of him dangling that carrot saying, come on, I dare to catch up to me. He's that little bit too far ahead to be looking at him along the straights and coming out of the corners.
Oh, this is a crash here. Look at, oh, that's a massive crash here. We'll see if we can pick up this number.
Oh, that's Luke Clout.
He has been ejected. He's clipped a tough block or something. As we see that GoPro footage from Jackson Richardson, clipped a tough block and straight over the handlebars. No doubt Suzuki Race Safe will be with him very, very soon as we go on board with Gavin Faith. Looks to me like he's either going to put a lap there on maybe Zach Newsom or Casey Turner. I'm not quite sure which one that is. One of those CDP privateers as we go back to Cade Mosick.
And just to touch on Luke Cloud again one more time, let's hope that doesn't put paid to his plane trip and heading over for the Mini O's. Just about to come up. We're expecting him to boot off to the United States of America in just a couple of days' time.
He's a tough kid, Luke Clout, and like we said, we've got the guys from Suzuki Race Safe here taking care of our athletes and doing a stunning job of looking after these guys. And this guy who doesn't need any looking after right now is Gavin Faith.
Well, Gavin Faith doing an exceptional job here, just about 2/3 of the way through the 15-lap main event. His coach and mentor, Colleen Millsaps, hopped on a plane, made her way all the way over here just to witness this and the potential national championship in the making. An amazing job. We will be right back after this break. Stick around. Welcome back to Newcastle Showgrounds. We are deep in the main event here for the lights category. Gavin Faith leads on the Carlton Dry Thor Honda, and he is staring down the barrel of his first championship here in Australia. Will be an amazing accomplishment.
In terms of his career overall, it's very good, isn't it, Lee? Australian motocross and supercross is now thought of very highly overseas. So for your career going back to the US, it's pretty handy to have an Australian championship, isn't it?
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at it. Yes, it's huge for him. A national championship is a national championship. If it's America, if it's Australia, it's a huge thing. Now, he'll be pumped with that. But also, the other side of the coin, from Honda's perspective, Honda in America and Australia, over the years in the history of motocross, supercross, have been a powerhouse in our sport. And they're so used to winning championships year in, year out. They've had a little bit of a dry spell for quite a few years. Now, Ford Dale's come out this year and won on the Carlton Dry Thor Honda, the lights category in the Outdoor Nationals. To back it up, this will make it, if Gavin Faith can get this one, it'll make it 2 from 2 in the lights class, and Honda are back with a vengeance.
A vengeance indeed, isn't it? Ford Dale obviously out with injury, tore an ACL just before the start of his series, and he's back recovering now. We look forward to seeing him on the big bike next year as we go back on board to Cade Mosick on this Monster Energy Kawasaki. And I'd have to say in this moto he's done everything he can. He didn't quite get the start he needed, but he's kept Gavin Faith honest, hasn't he? Gavin Faith, he's just looking for one bobble or one small mistake, and Mosick would have closed right in.
Well, that's for sure. And Cade Mosick come out at the start of this race. He was so aggressive and so keen to get into it. We saw his eyes on the start line when the gate was just about to drop. He was ready to go into battle, but he needed to be up there just a little bit closer. Oh, a mistake. Gavin Faith has gone off the back of the berm. It's only a small mistake, though, but that will be enough enough to almost drop him back into the clutches of Cade Mosig. There is only a couple of seconds separating these two now.
Now, if you look at Cade Mosig, all of a sudden just wicks it up. I bet the eyes went wide there. It would have been deer in the headlights. There's Gavin Faith all of a sudden. Things are about to change, and he's closed right in now, Cade Mosig. You've probably been in this position before, Lee. What do you do if you're Cade Mosig? Do you look to get out of your rhythm and mount a charge, or you just try and keep your rhythm and hope they're going to make another mistake?
All you can hope for is that your fitness and training is enough to keep you pushing at the kind of limit you need to go to take the win. And we're on board here with Gavin Faith as he goes over the back. Now, he made the right choice. He could have tried to stay on the track and thrown it down and had a crash, but instead he elects to go over the back and come back on. Now, let's just try to paint the picture a little bit for you here. Gavin Faith does not need to win this race to win the championship. Mosig, even if he does win and drops Faith back there, won't take the championship, but he has not won a race so far this whole year, let alone Supercross. He wants to finish off with a win, the last race of the season. What a way to finish off that would be.
Fantastic, wouldn't it, for the Monster Energy Kawasaki and obviously Cade Mosig. As it stands now, I think he's probably going to have about third in this championship with that tough result in the second round of Phillip Island, getting tangled up in that crash. And he's definitely going to keep Gavin Faith honest here in these last couple of laps. Faith will know that Mosig is there now.
Well, you can see from his intensity and the way that he's riding that Cade Mosig's not starting to get fatigued. He's not winded at all. All his training, everything he's been doing living on the Gold Coast, it's all come together nicely. And I know he's been living and staying with Jacob Wright. He's been given huge props to the family for putting him up free of charge, and they train together. And Jacob Wright is such a nice guy. He's been injured lately, but he's been helping Cade out with a little bit of his stuff. Now, if he was to come through here and finish off with an unbelievable effort for the last round of the series, what a great little attribute. What a great little pat on the back that would be.
Absolutely for Cade Mosig. You know, he's put in the hard yards, and he's such a determined and passionate guy. You see him, if he ever comes off the track and he hasn't done what he wanted, you can't go near him for 10 minutes. He's that angry with himself.
Yeah, well, he gets angry at himself, but never at other people. You never see him. He doesn't do the water bottle kick or anything like that. So, he's a true consummate professional, that is for sure. But it's all about this guy at the moment. Now, I'm glad we got back on our race leader, because this is a moment he's going to want to take in. If he gets to look at this footage and check it out, he'll be all smiles inside that helmet at the moment. And what an amazing thing to have his mentor, Colleen Millsaps, come out, hop on a plane and be here for this massive moment in his life. He's going to be over the moon.
He will be over the moon, and he deserves to. He's been fantastic, the pick of the class this year, and good on you, Reeve Consey and the guys for bringing him out to get this championship going on. Last lap board, our man checkers, the last lap board for this time this season, and Gavin Faith still chucking it into that corner there, and he's going to finish this one out with that patented aggression we've seen from him all season.
Well, he's been a completely different rider this season. He came out and he did the Supercross Championship last year. He come up a little bit short, didn't win the championship, but man, he had some unbelievable pace. He won a couple of rounds, but when he didn't win, he was either on the ground or nowhere near where he wanted to be. This year, he has been on the podium every single time. He's had a couple of wins, and he's about to notch up another one.
Just a little bit of a mistake there, but almost a flawless season so far from Gavin Faith. He wasn't fantastic in that mud in Toowoomba, but let's be honest, too, he's fantastic in the mud in those sort of situations.
Well, it's all about the American rider, Gavin Faith, on the Carlton Dry Thor Honda. One corner to go, and he will take victory at the final round and notch up his first national championship in Australia. A one-hander for the crowd, and he will be over the moon with that.
He deserves to be over the moon. Like I said, he's been fantastic this year, Gavin Faith. The guys from Honda, they'll be pumped with him. Solid effort there from Cade Mosig. He'll finish off the season in third place, and Ryan Marmont, second place overall for this series. So that's a phenomenal effort also for the JDR Motorsports KTM rider, Ryan Marmont.
And coming back in now, look, there we see IEG promoter and also team manager of the Carlton Dry Thor Honda team, Reeve Consey, there to welcome and congratulate his rider, and Colleen Millsaps there also. Gavin Faith taking the victory with the red background there, number 2. Cade Mosig in second place. Errol Willis with his first podium of the year, his first ever podium in lights.
Fantastic work from Willis. Then we go to Ryan Marmont. The young privateer Jackson Richardson gets 5th to Stephen Clark. Early race leader Scotty Collum finishes in 7th place and $100 richer. Nicholas Sutherland, Taylor Potter and Mitchell Norris. Good ride from Mitch Norris in the top 10 spot.
And Norris up there in 10th place, great job. Lincoln Nickel, then we're back to Kim Ashkenazi, 12th, not too bad whatsoever. Mellish, from Lucas, from Turner, Zach Newsom up there in 16th. Would have liked to see him just up that little bit higher.
Luke Clout, a DNF there. We just got word from Suzuki Race Day that he is okay, Luke Clout. He's a bit banged up and he'll be a little bit sore and sorry for himself, but he'll be okay.
Yeah, it's great to hear. Now, let's take a look at the championship standings. Well, this is the final standings. 95 points for Gavin Faith. A nice gap there over Ryan Marmont. 79 points on the JDR KTM in second place. Cade Mosig in third. Stephen Clark in fourth place. And Scotty Collum making it a fourth and fifth for Suzuki.
Fantastic work there. Get a look at Kim Ashkenazi, seventh place overall in the series from Taylor Potter, Luke Cloud a little bit further back than that. Errol Willis finishes out the series in 12th, Keisha in 14th, all the way down to Luke Stike in 20th, obviously with a broken wrist.
Well, Stike there, yeah, 18th and only did one round, and that was, of course, at Dubbo. He was up there on the podium, so we're looking forward to seeing him back next year without a doubt. All right, let's go down now to Jerry Bernardo, who has caught up with our race winner, Gavin Faith.
You didn't put a foot wrong, hole shots, and now the championship. You plotted this right from the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've been working really hard back home at MTF, and we've been training our butts off all year since last year to come back and do exactly what I did, is get the #1 place. So I can't be more stoked.
That start really let me down in the final, but I did what I could. Gavin was riding really fast and just couldn't chase him down. So I'm pumped with second. It's good. It's always good to be on the podium, and it's a good way to finish off the year.
It sucks that it's taken this long to be able to do it, but it's coming a good time. I don't have a ride for next year, and it wasn't looking like I was going to be even racing next year after 2 titles last year, but hopefully now we can find something that I've proved to everyone that what I can finally do.
Well, Newcastle, it was our absolute pleasure. Round 4 of the Terex Australian Supercross Championships. What an amazing event. The lights category, Gavin Faith on the Carlton Dry Thor Honda. He come up trumps. Jerry Bernardo, did the kid impress you?
He really did. I've never seen him ride until this year, and he came out and ripped hole shots week in and week out. Talent to here, confidence to here, mix them together, put them on the box, give them a #1 plate, send them back to the States. We're done.
The American has got talent aplenty, without a doubt. If there was going to be a rider to throw down any form of challenge, Cade Mosig on the Monster Energy Cowie was the man to do it.
He was the man to do it. He has the speed, the talent, and the ability. He just lacked the consistency that we saw from Gavin Faith this year. And I think in the end, that's probably what's going to cost him a championship.
It no doubt did. Now, it's been a sensational 4-round series. Terex on board, Petters on board. We want to see more for 2013, and we can't wait to get into it. I'm Lee Hogan on behalf of Cam Williams and Jerry Bernardo. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next year.